All right, ladies, let's talk about the DivaCup. I am a first-time user, so I'm gonna give you my opinion through my entire menstrual cycle.
Okay, so we're just gonna have an honest conversation about how this went. I got this 2 menstrual cycles ago. My first cycle with this, I couldn't figure it out at all. I couldn't figure out how to get it in. When I got it in, it was really uncomfortable and I just hated it. So I went back to tampons. This time, I was absolutely determined to use it. And so I'm gonna give you my honest feedback on how it was to use the DivaCup. To give you a spoiler alert, it was a learning curve, but I highly recommend it and I'm never going back. So when I first started using it, it was really hard to figure out how to get in. They recommend the C-fold like this. I found another YouTube video that shows the 7-fold where you fold it like this, and I found that to be significantly easier to get in. There are numerous ways to insert it. One of the ways is kind of the C-fold. What I found was more comfortable was the 7-fold. So I folded it like this. And then what's really helpful is to push it in and back instead of in and up. I found that it was much easier to put in than it was to pull out. So what worked for me was when I was getting it out, to kind of get in a squat position, you sort of reach it up, you pinch this bottom part, and once you pinch it, that releases the suction, and then you can pull it out pretty easily. I found that it was really uncomfortable when I pulled it straight out, and so once I got a hold of it, if I could tilt it just a little bit, that made the rim not catch on me, and it was a lot more comfortable to pull out. Real quick, real conversation on getting it out. For me, I do have to get in a squat position to get it out, which is not something that's super comfortable to do in, say, like a public restroom. But the great thing for me is that it really did last 12 to 13 hours. So I was able to put it in the morning, not think about it at all, and then deal with it at night. If for some reason you're gonna have to deal with it in a public space, I think when I get better, that would be okay, but it wouldn't be my favorite. However, as a tampon user, it's pretty great to not have to mess with it at all day. And so I really don't even need to think about public spaces because for the most part, within a 13-hour period, I'm home. This is my first ever completely leak-free period. I've used tampons my whole life. I've always had to have a liner because I always have leakage. And this didn't leak at all day or night, which was pretty cool. I have, for reference, kind of a medium to heavy flow, and after 12 hours, the most full that it was about up to here. I used the small because I am a beginner, and I'm really glad I made that choice. Even with a medium to heavy flow, I would not have wanted the large because it would have made that learning curve so much more difficult. After each use, I simply dumped it in the toilet, took a little bit of toilet paper, washed it or wiped it out, and then, just ran some water and some soap over it. Getting it a little bit wet actually helps it insert more easily as well, so you don't even need to dry it. You can just figure out your fold and insert it. It does come with this nice discreet carrying pouch, so if you're not sure if you're gonna start your period yet, just as easy to store in your purse as a tampon, and also equally discreet in terms of going to the bathroom. This one is the actual DivaCup. You can see DivaCup right there. I did a lot of comparing when I first bought this cup, and here's why I chose the DivaCup over some others. I happen to have a higher cervix. There are things that you can look online to figure out what yours is, but with that higher cervix, this longer, more narrow cup was significantly more comfortable for me. Another thing that I noticed is when I first put this in the first time, I felt like I could kind of feel it, but I just kind of wiggled around a little bit and it settled into place and I couldn't feel it for the whole rest of my period. I highly recommend, if you're thinking about potentially trying out a cup, this is a great beginner cup to start with. If you're looking for a cup, if you want to give it a shot, I would recommend it.